big story is coming from Jammu and Kashmir, where after nearly 60 hours and more, the encounter at the EDI building in Pampore has finally ended. 2 terrorists of the Lashkar who were holed up inside have been killed. Special commandos of the army have finally cleared the EDI building, where the gun battle lasted for 3 days. Most part of the concrete building has been reduced to rubble as many of its walls were blown up during the exchange of fire. Top army sources also told India Today that the terrorists who were holed up in Pampore are part of a big group that had infiltrated via Naugam, and elite paracommandos of the army were finally called in to neutralize these terrorists.
Yesterday in the morning time, we had some firing which was going on in the JKEDI. That is the time our road opening party was on the road. These chaps all went inside and saw there was the presence of terrorists over there. That is the time we took time, and once it was confirmed that uske andar mein there were terrorists were inside, that is the time we cordoned the area, and then we brought in more forces and started our operation. This operation was a very tricky operation because it is a very huge building, and we did not want to do any of the collateral damage because there were civilians, there were chances of civilians being inside. All those people were taken out. This, as far as JKEDI is concerned, this is a center of excellence in which a lot of our young brethren get employment courtesy all this. The day before yesterday morning we started. Yesterday we kept working on this, and today morning time we started the clearing of the whole operation. At this moment, as far as we know, there are 2 people who have been eliminated, and there are 2 weapons which have been recovered. Rest of the things, as far as recoveries are concerned, we'll give you the list about all the things. Otherwise, this operation, because of being too many rooms and too many floors, it is a tedious process, and we did not want to do anything.
Okay, so here are the big takeaways from the encounter that has lasted for 3 days. It started early on Monday morning, and it has finally been concluded successfully today, that is Wednesday. In fact, 2 terrorists have been killed. Some weapons have been recovered from them. As far as the long duration of this encounter is concerned, the army is very clear that they did not want to rush into it. They did not want to suffer any casualties, as had happened the last time around. This very building had been attacked. 2 officers at that time had been lost to the terrorist bullet. This time they wanted to be absolutely sure of how many terrorists are there and that they do not walk into any kind of booby trap. And in fact, let's get more on that from my colleague Shuja, who is live with us from Pampore. Tell us more, Shuja, about the reasons behind why this operation was so long drawn. What were the precautions that were being taken and why?
Well, Padmaja, the biggest reason why this operation was so delayed was the fact that it was happening in a building which was extremely, difficult to sort of venture in. It is a concrete 7-floor building which had more than 50 rooms, and if you count the attached bathrooms and other corners, then as per the police sources, it was more than 100 rooms that the forces had to check. And the fact that the operation that happened in February had certain lessons that the army perhaps had learned. At that point of time in the encounter, there was a lot of damage that happened to the army. The army took some of the officers got killed in it. So perhaps that is why what led this time around the army to be very cautious about it. Now, we just spoke to the GOC here about this operation, and he said that they were being cautious. They also wanted to avoid any collateral damage. Initially, we've been reporting this for last 3 days. For last 3 days continuously, we've been hearing massive pounding on this building. There was, as per an estimate, close to 500 kgs of explosive material that was used from outside. It was only this morning that the special forces managed to enter into the building and then eventually sanitize the entire area. So 2 things. One, perhaps the army wanted to be cautious. They did not want to take the kind of damages that would have happened, that had happened last time around. Also, second thing, the design of the building, which is so concrete that it provided a perfect cover for these militants. It actually provided a bunker sort of a cover for these militants for so long.
Absolutely. Multi-storied building, numerous rooms. Each room had to be cleared, sanitized individually. And also, Jugal, the apprehension that these terrorists were part of a larger, in fact, Shuja, if you could take that question, that these terrorists were part of a larger group that had infiltrated via Nogam. Is there any fix with the intelligence agencies on how the other terrorists have spread out and what is their destination? Where are they headed?
Well, Padmaja, that is the the bigger perspective to it. We've been talking about it over past few months because of the kind of unrest that has happened in the valley. There have been constant inputs coming in that many militants have managed to sneak in. They have been able to infiltrate and are in the valley. Now this to a lot of experts and also the sources in the intelligence say is going to be a massive challenge. Many militants present in the valley means a lot of such operations could happen. There will be a lot more worry that the security forces will have to deal with. It falls in the line of that sort of thought process. Now, of late, particularly after the Uri attack, there has been a heightened sense of security. An alert has been sounded all across that there is a possibility of such attacks, particularly around sensitive installations and security forces camps. And the highway that where we are standing right now, which is where this EDI building is also situated, was also one of the areas which was which was asked to be very vigilant. The forces were asked to be vigilant 24/7. So in a bigger picture, one can say that it is troubling time for the security forces because of the kind of infiltration that is believed to have been happened
Absolutely, and also that choice of target. And on that, I want to bring in my colleague Jugal Purohit as well. The fact that the army, the government run a number of skill development institutes across the valley. This particular building, EDI, has been struck twice now. Is this a particular message that is being sent across, and will other institutions like this one also then be under threat, Jugal? What is the thinking along those lines? Jugal, can you hear me?
Yes, Padmaja, could you repeat your question?
Yes, my question was the fact that EDI, a skill development institute which enables youth in the valley to subsequently be self-reliant, get employment, has been targeted twice. There are a number of such institutes which are run by the army and the government across the valley. Is there a threat perception to them as well now?
Well, Padmaja, there's no doubt about the fact that, there is intelligence which suggests that terrorists who have infiltrated already, and that number is in excess of 300, which is a consensus between all the agencies concerned. They are, or rather they are under pressure to show quote-unquote spectacular results. Now, these are targets which are soft targets. The EDI building, as you just said, was attacked in the past. We had seen back then a very different approach by the army, perhaps some say an approach of trying to end the infiltration or the attack soon, which resulted in 5 casualties of the army and 1 civilian employee. This time around, the army has decided to take it slow, but to be a very patient observer and act in that regard, and has successfully done so. Insofar as your question is concerned, Padmaja, there are ample number of soft targets which are there. Security is an ever-evolving situation, and with about 300 plus militants who are now under pressure, as the agencies have pointed, it is no doubt that these soft targets will be attempted, at least, if not successfully so.
All right, for now, Shujaul Haq, Jugal Purohit, thank you both for joining us on that story.